If you've ever grown up in a family that felt off, like something was wrong, but you couldn't really explain what it is, or like you were constantly walking on eggshells, or love always felt like there were strings attached to it, there's a chance that you grew up in what's called a narcissistic family system. And this is gonna sound kind of extreme at first, but in today's video, I want to make a case as to why narcissistic family systems actually function a lot like a cult does. I know that sounds very dramatic, but just stick with me. So what is a narcissistic family system? Basically, it's a family where one person, which is usually the parent or a parent figure, is the center of the family system. They are the center of the universe. Everything in the family revolves around their emotions, their needs, their image, them. It's all about them. And everyone else, the spouse, the kids, whoever else in the family, they're just kind of like on the sidelines. They're meant to orbit around that parental figure, like planets orbit around the sun. In these family systems, love is conditional. So you're only given love when you're pleasing that parental figure, right? You're only given love when you're reflecting well on them. If you don't challenge them, everything will go well. But as soon as you disagree with them, you have a different opinion, you step out of your designated role in the family system, suddenly you are meant to feel like you're selfish, you're ungrateful, and you're causing drama in the family. Suddenly, all of the issues in the family become your fault. This isn't just dysfunction. It's a very carefully curated system of emotional control by the narcissistic parental figure. Now let's shift to talking about cults. And we're not talking about like the cults where they're in robes and they're doing all these weird blood rituals and sacrifices. That's not necessarily what this is. But it's what we're talking about is the cult-like nature of this family system in the psychological sense, in the psychological and emotional manipulation that takes place in these families. A cult usually has a central leader who's charismatic and controlling, and everything in the cult is about loyalty to them. So in order to get this loyalty, they isolate all of their members from the outside world, from outside influences, so that they can have complete control. So they will punish people for questioning things, and they'll make them feel like their identity only exists in relation to that group. If that sounds familiar, it's because that's exactly what happens in narcissistic family systems, because the narcissistic parent becomes like a cult leader, and the rules are not really spoken directly, but you have to play your designated role in this family system in order for things to be okay. So whether that's a golden child role, whether you're the scapegoat, whether you're the peacemaker, it doesn't really matter. If you step outside of whatever your role is, you're going to be either punished or emotionally exiled from the family system. What makes this kind of emotional manipulation so hard to see is that it's happening within the family. This is a place where we're supposed to feel safe, where this is supposed to be a place of unity and support. So it's hard to see it, especially when you've grown up in this system and this is all you know, this is what you're used to. You start to think that it's normal, even though it's really toxic. When love is conditional and when individuality is suppressed and speaking out and having your own opinions is viewed as betrayal, that's not just a bad family system. That's cult-like behavior. So let's say you're the golden child in this dynamic and you get a lot of praise, but it's only going to come when you're doing what the narcissistic parent wants, okay? So you become an extension of what the parent wants and of their ego. So the second you express your own needs or you have differing opinions or you want to do your own thing, that love disappears. Or maybe you're the scapegoat, the one who always is the problem child, the problem in the family. No matter what happens, it's your fault, right? You carry that blame in the family so that no one has to look at the dysfunction at the top. The narcissistic parent uses you as a vessel for offloading the responsibility of their emotional and psychological abuse. And if you ever try to leave the system, to set boundaries, to get therapy, to do anything that's outside of what's acceptable to your narcissistic parent, suddenly you're going to become the enemy. You're going to become, and this doesn't matter whether you were the golden child or the scapegoat or whoever, it doesn't matter. You are going to now become the problem if you push back. You're going to be labeled crazy. You're going to be accused of hurting the family. And that's how these systems stay intact. They stay intact through fear, guilt, and shame. These are very powerful emotions that narcissistic parents use to manipulate and control their family system, just like a cult would. And the scariest part is when you grow up in these types of families, you don't even realize that it's not normal. It just is your reality, right? You've grown up like this, and questioning it feels like you're betraying your entire identity. But the reality is, healthy families don't need you to sacrifice yourself to stay connected with them. They don't exile you for growing and developing your individuality, and they don't control you with shame. And if you've started to wake up to this happening in your own family and you're realizing, wait a second, this wasn't just a difficult upbringing, this was manipulation and emotional control, I want you to know that this realization is a big deal. It's not easy coming to terms with this type of family dynamic, and breaking out of it is like breaking out of a spell. The emotional manipulation that happens in these families is not easy to break through, but it's the beginning of your freedom. So yeah, narcissistic families can really function like a cult, and not because everyone's brainwashed in some obvious way, but because the emotional manipulation is so deep and so woven into what is supposed to be love. If any of this resonated with you, first of all, I'm really sorry. But also, you're not alone. There are so many people that are waking up to this very thing and setting boundaries with their toxic parents and choosing themselves and choosing to heal the emotional and psychological wounds that their parents refuse to take accountability for. And it's such a difficult thing to do. It's not an easy journey, but it's so worth it. It's so worth taking back your identity and reconnecting to your authentic self, separate from this cultic-like family. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you want to share your story or ask any questions, please feel free to leave those down below in the comments section. If this helped you feel seen, please share it with somebody who needs to hear it too. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video.